Hello, 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 and welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream happening every week on Thursdays at 4 o'clock. Now, today's I'm here to help you raise your vibration. And today's one of those days where it might be a little bit harder than normal because it is September 11th, right today that I'm recording this. And September 11th is a very somber day if you were alive 24 years ago when the towers of the Twin Towers in New York City, in Manhattan, where I was born, fell to the ground after some airplanes hit it. Of course, there are other theories and other things that have been investigated, and I do not know what the truth of it is, but these things happen. They tend to be milestones to remember. And the good things to remember about that day was how so many people came together as American citizens and even across all the world. People were united because, the goodness in people are against violence, are against hatred, are against these lower vibrations, and so this is one of the reasons I do this show is to help, counteract the negativity that's out there because I know that what we focus on, we attract more of. And so, we get into these habits sometimes of doom scrolling and, the way the algorithm works, once you start looking at certain videos, you're going to find other videos like that. So it's kind of like the law of attraction, right? So what you're focusing on, if you shift the type of videos that you're watching on YouTube, you're going to get more suggestions that are fall into line in alignment with the videos that you're watching. So if you're watching positive things on YouTube, you're going to get more positive, uplifting content. So hopefully, I've crossed your path somewhere along the line. And this today, I just kind of wasn't feeling it. How we know where we're vibrating at is by our emotions. We have the lower vibrations, basically of fear, and the higher vibrations of love. And there's different ways to describe the different types of fear, from, shame all the way to anger and hate. And then we get into the higher vibrations of love and peace and happiness, joy, bliss, all the, good vibes. So the idea of what I preach basically is where we're vibing at determines what kind of life we're going to create. So it's important to number one, be aware of our vibration, where are we vibing at, and then make a decision. Am I going to stay stuck in this vibration and attract more of it? Or am I going to shift and move to a higher vibration and make a difference and know that, we're not all islands, we're all connected energetically. This is what quantum physics is all about. And so, because we're energetically connected, we all, when one suffers, all suffer. But when one has success, all have success too. So it's kind of that idea that we're all connected, that we're all one, the idea of oneness and that, and just that we're all, when one's, like I said, when one suffers, we all suffer. And just having that empathy and knowing that we're all part of the same human family. So, I wasn't feeling up to doing. I almost didn't do the show today, but I was scrolling through Facebook and I came across this post from the Peace and Free Love Facebook page, which I'll put on the screen in a minute. So I just wanted to share it because it did make the shift for me to help me to kind of was asking a sign from the universe. Oh, should I just like be silent today and just take kind of a personal day? Or do I want to do the show? And I wasn't feeling it, but then I read this post and it says, keep fighting for the good. Keep showing up for, keep showing up, keep loving, keep giving back, keep being kind, keep being brave, keep caring, keep trying new things, keep showing grace, keep on. This world needs you to believe in the good. And so, and the reason that is because what we focus on, we create, and we do that on a collective basis. So, it's so easy to focus on what's wrong and just get into criticism and judgment and just complain, but that doesn't do any good. So when we catch ourselves doing that, let's shift it to the higher vibrations and look for the good and believe in the good. So I wanted to share who this was from, and this is from the Facebook page called Peace and Free Love. So that really helped me to be on beyond today because there's so much going on in the world, so much really lately violence, and it's just very depressing. So I just want to let you know that if you're from wherever you're watching, you can actually comment on the screen, and I can see your comments and respond to them. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm streaming to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And where are you watching from? I'd love to know. Please put it in the comments, even if you're watching it during the replay, because I see those too. So let's get on with it. Well, let's talk about some astrological news. Where are we in the cosmos? Well, the sun is in the sign of Virgo. That started on August 22nd and will continue until September 22nd when the sun will go into the sign of Libra. But the sign of Virgo, and so the sun sign that we're in, this energy that we're in, has to do with being analytical and practical, organized, service oriented. And so these are the qualities and types of things that are great to do during this time while the sun is in the sign of Virgo, to really kind of get in touch with our inner Virgo, our inner organizer, right? And get ready for this last part of the year. Um, so let's look at the moon and see where we are as far as the moon. We are in the waning phase of the moon, as you probably has been feeling. We had a full moon and a lunar eclipse that happened on September 7th, which I think was Sunday. Was it Sunday 7th? Yeah, it was Sunday in the afternoon. Now, we couldn't see it if you're in North America because it was daytime when it happened, 2 o'clock here, Eastern time. So the people that are on the other side of Earth, Asia and Russia and Indonesia and all, they could actually see this lunar eclipse that was the longest it lasted in totality, the longest 83 minutes. And so that's one of the longest ones that we've had in quite a while. And so whenever there's a lunar eclipse, there's also a solar eclipse 2 weeks later. And so that would be the new moon, and so we have a solar eclipse happening in the near moon. Now, I didn't look up where it's visible yet, but regardless of whether you see it or don't see it, and then there's some people that say you shouldn't go out during the lunar eclipse anyway, it's bad luck and that kind of thing. So it really depends on what you believe. But as far as the new moon and solar eclipse, so this is again another new moon, a new beginning, and it's like triple the power. Just like it's a lunar eclipse, a triple full moon energy, the new moon energy is a triple kind of thing. So we've been talking about these for these last few weeks about how we're in a new beginning phase. We're in, we're completing things, we're ending things. We just had 999, which was a couple of days ago on September 9th of 2025, adds up to 9. So nines are endings, it's a completion so that we can start new beginnings. So this is always going to be happening around this time of the year with this Virgo new moon. And also this new moon coming up is in the sign of Virgo too. So you got double Virgo. You have the sun in Virgo, and then you have the new moon in Virgo as well. So you got that double Virgo energy. So remember what uh, what Virgo things that you can work on during to utilize this energy. And the interesting thing, also, I did want to mention that September 21st is the International Day of Peace that the United Nations had set up. I'm not sure how many years ago. I will talk about it again as we get closer, but just note that in your calendar, that September 21st, International Day of Peace. So you may want to do a special peace meditation or attend a ritual or program or something online. It's always good to tune into peace because, again, collectively, what we focus on, we create more of. So we want peace in this world of violence that we're experiencing. We want to shift that and focus on peace and love and really embodying that and also projecting that, putting that out into the world. So the new moons and full moons are always great times to do that, is set those intentions, put out those frequencies because they're amplified during the new and the full moon. So that's why I like to talk about those. The other thing that's going to happen the very next day is the fall equinox. So the fall equinox, this is when we've got equal day and equal night. It mirrors what happens in the spring equinox in March. So this is a time of equal day, equal night, time of balance. And so now we will get the days will start to get shorter, and we'll get closer and closer to the winter solstice, which is the longest night, shortest day. And then again, we start the cycle over. So I think it's really good to pay attention to the natural cycles that are happening around us in nature. So as we go flow with them, life is just easier. So, all right, let's and then again, September 22nd. Not only is the fall equinox, but that is when the sun goes into the sign of Libra. So we will talk more about that. And Libra is the sign of the balances, right? The balancing things. So that is what I've got for you as far as some astrology. Let's talk a little bit about. Um, Go UFO and UAP disclosure. So there's been a lot happening this week. Just a couple of days ago was the big week where we had the UAP public hearing that happened 2 days ago on September 9th. And I'm going to give you some highlights that happened. So Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who is a representative from Florida, the Tampa Pinellas County district, she said, here's a little quote from the beginning, that, this is not science fiction, but a matter of national security, accountability, and truth for the American people. So, the whistleblowers have had concerns because military pilots, for example, have experienced that as they report these things to you know, their their bosses, then they get, they have to sign NDAs and get told they cannot share this information with anyone, to keep it secret, to keep it hidden. And so there have been career repercussions for those that have reported UAP sightings. If they're pilots, they're in fear of losing flight time. And so this leaves valuable testimony unheard. People don't know what's going on because there's not a culture of reporting it amongst the pilots in the military. So that's not good. That came up. The other thing, there was criticism of AARO, and AARO is an acronym, AARO, stands for the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which was the organization, the office from the Pentagon that the legislation that passed a couple of years ago created to be the place where whistleblowers could go and report all of their information. Well, I'm understanding that over 200,000 cases were reported, but in 700 cases that they went through, they all blew it off as being balloons. So Anna Paulina Luna, actually called the director of Arrow at that time, Sean Kil- Kirkpatrick. She kept calling him Kilpatrick, but uh, she's very mad at him because she actually called him an outright liar. And so she wants really Arrow to be defunded because they have not been doing the job they were tasked to do. Anyway, so there was that. Then there was also some information about congressional oversight obstacles. So Congress, their job is to oversee, how the money that they allocate gets, used properly and this kind of thing. Oversight, make sure things are done right. Well, the DoD, the Department of Defense, and the intelligence community have restricted access to classified UAP videos and documents, which has frustrated Congress's oversight role. And Eric Burleson and Representative Luna, they were all very upset about, and frustrated with how they have been blocked from getting the information they need from the Department of Defense, and that's preventing them from doing their constitutional job. They talked about the national and global stakes. Lawmakers warned that adversarial nations are studying the UAPs, the Chinese, the Russia, Iran, and they're hiding information it risks strategic surprise and public distrust. So, that's something. Um, that they want to have an agreement, and at one point they did have an agreement with Russia when it was the Soviet Union, because these UAPs kept showing up where the nuclear missiles were, and you know, each nation didn't want to think that that was from the other country, not a UAP, and start a nuclear war. So that did happen back in the '60s, but since then we're not sure. It's kind of all of this UAP has gone underground and got went into the intelligence community. So, let's see. So those are the national and global stakes. Now, there were five different here, and I can share with you the different um, witnesses that we had, and I'm just going to make them a little bit bigger. And we do have a comment. Vicky Smith, hello, hello. Thanks for the 2 stars. All right, so I'm going to talk briefly about the different witnesses that happened at the UAP hearing just 2 days ago. And so Jeffrey Nudicelli, he reported several UAP incursions at the Vandenberg Air Force Base back in 2003 to 2005. He was a military police officer that had to take these reports. And so these reports included glowing red squares and a massive triangular craft. And so he urged for protection for witnesses and greater transparency. And so he's been interviewed on a lot of different podcasts, I think, including Weaponized. So you can check that out. The other uh, witness was this chief, Alexandra Wiggins, and he testified about a 2023 Navy encounter that happened off of California, where tic tac shaped objects emerged from the ocean. They linked up and disappeared simultaneously with no conventional propulsion. So that's just 2023. And we know that off of Catalina Island in South California is a hot spot where there have been many, many reports off the oceans. They suspect USOs, which are um, submersible, unidentified submersible objects, because I believe that a lot of ETs do have bases in the deep oceans that we're not aware of. Well, not all of us are aware of, but some people are aware of it. So that was Chief Alexander Wiggins, who did testified. Then also a big surprise witness was this George Knapp, who is a UFO journalist who has investigated UAPs for like 38 years. He testified about patterns of secrecy, the intimidation of the whistleblowers and how that's a real thing, and government efforts to discredit credible witnesses. So he was, I think, very frustrated, and he talked about when when the Soviet Union, before it got under Putin, there was some exchange of scientific data and this kind of thing, and he went over to the Soviet Union and got some UFO files like this thick. And smuggled them back to the United States, and then gave them to the appropriate intelligence communities, and also, I guess, has that information reported on it and that kind of thing. So, he was very interesting. And I'm going to give you a link where you can watch the whole hearing. So you can actually watch their actual testimony. And let's see. The next witness was Dylan Borland. He's a fairly new whistleblower that's come out, and he's an Air Force veteran who recounted firsthand UAP encounters while on duty. He described craft that defied physics and air safety, and he warned that service members face ridicule and career threats. And he actually is an unemployment, which is going to run out in a few weeks. So I feel, he was the most nervous of everyone. And he said, there's certain things I can't tell you here. I have to tell you in a skift because I don't want to be accused of being a spy. And he said, because espionage, you can be killed for that. You can be executed for being a spy. And so he was very aware of the threats, and just very fearful, but very brave for coming before us. The next person that we had, the last was not whistleblower, but more of a witness, is this Joe Spielberger. And Joe Spielberger, he's the senior policy counsel at POGO. And POGO stands for, of course, I don't have it here. It's an organization within the government that that works with whistleblowers, basically. And so he said that he highlighted that there's systemic lack of whistleblower protections, um, and that he argued that secrecy undermines democracy and accountability. He also said that he urged Congress to strengthen the laws protecting um, witnesses and to enforce transparency across the Department of Defense and intelligence agencies. So he was the last one, more of a professional. He was considered a minority witness. But one of the big things that happened, so let's take him off of here. One of the big kind of surprises or bombs that were dropped was actually a bomb, this Hellfire missile. They showed a video, and it was hard to see or understand what was happening for me, at least. I don't watch a whole lot of you know, missile videos, um, but it's the missile, this Hellfire missile that hit the UAP, and it kind of opened up, and some parts fell off of it, and the missile kept going, and so it didn't blow up. And Anna Paulina Luna asked the witnesses, does this scare you? And they all, except for George Knapp, said yes. So let me go ahead and share this video with you. And let me get over here so I can play it for you. Here we go. Hold on real quick. So that's a UAP, and from 10 o'clock, you'll see the missile, the Hellfire missile right there. You could see those little pieces, those little right here. I'm wondering if those are the ETs kind of ejecting from it. But they trail behind.
Okay, while this is still rolling, Mr. Nusatelli, real quick yes or no answers. Are you aware of anything?
And it keeps going. So I'm going to stop that for right now. So I'll play it for you again just so that you see it. Right there. See it again. And there have been tons of replays of this online, but just so that, whoops, so you can see. It was at 27. There we go.
Okay, well, this is real quick. I'd like to ask the committee to replay that video that Berlin.
So that is the Hellfire video that that they shared, this Hellfire missile. So they were scared because apparently one of their missiles cannot, kill or blow up a UAP. And I don't think we need to be blowing up UAPs. We need to have peaceful communications with them, because I think we know, or we sense that we how should I put it? That these ETs are more advanced than us, and they have weapons. And if they wanted to blow us up, it would have happened. So they're not here for that reason, or at least that's one of the things that Dr. Greer says. And I believe him. So, anyway, if you are interested in seeing more, like the whole hearing, you want to go to the disclosure dialogues. If you go to this tinyurl.com/disclosure dialogue 2 with the first D capitalized, you will be able to see the disclosure dialogue version, or kind of commentary that we did. We did about half an hour commentary before the hearing, and then about, it was probably more than 40 minutes afterwards, from all those Citizens for Disclosure state leaders that are part of the New Paradigm Institute. So anyway, I want to encourage you to do that. And if you want to join New Paradigm Institute, there's the website right there. You can just sign up for the newsletter to get in the know, or you can sign up to volunteer, which is so easy to do. It's just calling legislators and emailing them and this kind of thing. But we know that, again, what we put our attention on grows, and this is one way to create activism. So let's move on with the show and let's talk about the Oracle of the Month. And this month we are working with the Trust Your Vibes Oracle. So let me go ahead here and pull that deck up so you can see it. And I'll shuffle the cards here as we uh, ask Spirit, what is it that we need to know right now, especially on this September 11th day? That's challenging for a lot of people. And, what advice, what would you like us to know? Okay, so the card is Set Healthy Limits and Boundaries, number 37. Set healthy limits and boundaries. So it says, be cautious and mindful of how you spend your energy. Do not overdo or overgive. You will drain your resources and fall out of balance. Be conservative with your money right now and avoid excesses or unnecessary indulgences. This is also not the best time to invest or take on financial projects. Be calm and grounded. Examine people and things closely before committing. Don't be fooled by appearances or get distracted by the superficial. Be observant and set practical limits and healthy boundaries across the board. This will protect you from making choices that are not good for you or will waste your time, energy, and money. So that's very good, advice. And as we were talking about energy, what we focus on, we attract. So it's very important to know where we put our energy and not to scatter it beyond, our immediate world where we can impact things. So that is the um, uh, message from the cards today. So if you like this oracle deck, you could actually go to my website, good-vibes.tv, and you know uh, buy the deck if you like it. And I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here because I'm trying to do a couple other things, and I'm having a trouble getting this one. Oh, I wanted to talk a little bit about spiritual activism. I can't get the graphic up, um, but it's a graphic, and let me see. Maybe I can. Uh, I got it from Facebook from a friend of ours, Lil Foreman, and I'm not able to bring it up this way, but maybe I can bring it up this way. Or let's see. Well, I'm gonna have to, I guess, share my screen. Uh, Here we go. Yep, I'm gonna have to share my screen. So let me share my screen. It's gonna let me. All right, stop screen and share screen. This one. Whoops, this one. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Not this one. All right. I think I have to do this. Thank you for bearing with me. Ah, add to stage. There we go. Go figure. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger. So, my friend Lil online here, she created this post, and it says, if I can get it on the screen correctly, it says, and this really ties up a lot of what we've been talking about today. If I could read it. All right, hold on. There we go. So she says, our vibratory state is our true activism. Beyond words, beyond posts, beyond protest, it's the frequency we hold that shapes the field. Every healed wound, Every grounded breath, every act of alignment ripples outward. You're not just living and experiencing life, you're tuning the collective. So ask yourself, what are you broadcasting? And I really resonated with that because, you know, um, we were just talking about energy and about the collective and how we affect things. So by holding peace in this world that we see violence, so much violence, and one violent act is too much. Um, but as we hold that vibration of peace and love and project that, have that for us and project that out into the world, this is how we really practice spiritual activism. So let me take that off the screen. And, the other thing I like to always mention too is that, to meditate every day at 2 o'clock. If you remember, I put it on my timer. I'm not able to do it every day, but for 15 minutes at 2 o'clock Eastern time, whatever time zone that is for you, project peace and love, light to the planet. Your little bit makes a difference. So I just want to remind you about that. And next, I want to talk about the longevity with light. Normally, we would have a live show tonight at 8, but we are skipping this month and we'll continue next month in October. So, if you want to see, we have so many, let's see, 8 different episodes already. And you can just go to tinyurl.com/longevity playlist with the capital L, and you'll be able to get, to see all of these. They're about 30 minutes long, all about the different LifeWave patches. So check it out. It is very cool. And let's talk about the tip of the week. So last week's tip of the week, because we did have the eclipse, was to meditate and journal during the lunar eclipse. So did you do that? And how did that work out for you? What kind of um, hidden treasures did you come across? Um, and this week's tip of the week is to ask yourself, what frequency am I broadcasting? Just like what Lil Foreman was saying in her post there, what am I projecting out? And if I'm not projecting out the higher, vibrations of the good vibes, then let's make an adjustment so we can, broadcast the vibration of what it is that we want in our lives, because that's how we change the world, our world, and the collective world. All right, my friends. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today. And if you did get value from this, and if you have people that you think can enjoy the content that I put out, please share this with them, whether it's Facebook link or the YouTube link or just good-vibes.tv. That has everything. So I want to thank you again and have a wonderful week. And I will see you next week. Peace out, everyone.